Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Robbie the Painter. So glad you're here. I appreciate all of you guys. I've got some new subscribers out there. Thank you to all the new subscribers. It means the world. I've got a couple old friends that just subscribed, Dan the Man Glazer and Mike Moore. Great to have you guys. Good having you guys here. Got my paint palette right here. I'll run the colors over here like normal. And we've got a 16 by 20 inch canvas, and I have a thin coat of linseed oil on it. Didn't use liquid white this time, so the colors won't be mixing with that liquid white on here. It's going to be straight color onto the canvas, and I've only put the linseed oil on there to allow the paint to move and blend instead of onto a dry canvas. I think for our sky color, we're going to come into some phthalo blue. Ooh, this is what I was talking about. There's no white to mix with that, so your blues are going to be bluer. Everything's going to be brighter. And just going to wipe this off on a paper towel, get some of that paint off. And let's come across. I'm going to have the sky a little lighter on this side and grab a little titanium white, come over and grab a little Indian yellow. And just add this in, maybe a little more white. Lighten that up. Now yellow and blue make green. If you don't mix this go into that blue real hard and you kind of stay away from it a little bit, you'll be all right. Unless you want a green sky, then you go ahead and mix them. Don't really want a green sky, but I do want some little bit of yellow, a little lighter, brighter sky. What we can do to separate that, I don't have alizarin crimson on here. Okay, we're going to add a little more white. Let's come back into our titanium white. Just blend this. White. Let's come up here. Just put the indication of some little clouds floating up here. We're just touching the canvas. Just touching the canvas. Not going to put a whole lot of clouds in this one. Just a couple. Let's wash our paintbrush off, and we wash our paintbrushes in odorless mineral spirits or odorless paint thinner. And you want to make sure you have good ventilation, even with the odorless and that, but you definitely don't want the strong stuff. Want to get odorless. Okay, we're going to come back to these little clouds we just put on, just lightly, just lightly blend a little bit, just a whisper here. Okay, we stand back. Not too bad, not too bad. Maybe a little, maybe another one right in here. Blend a little bit, lift up, and then lightly across. All right. I think we're going to grab one of our fan brushes, and this is the number 4. This is a Bob Ross. I like my new fan brushes. If you watched one of my other episodes with the copper color fan brushes, it's a Carrot. I'm guessing the T is silent. artist brush. I like these, but we're going to do a little drawing right now. We're going to do an outline of a mountain. I'm going to put a little mountain in the background. So I've got some dark sienna. I'm going to go into the dark sienna here. And let's see, we're coming all the way. We're going to come up around here. Let's see, did I get all of that? Kind of. Something like that for our outline. It's going to change here. We're gonna change it as we go. We're going to separate. Some of this is going to be trees. Got a little reference photo that I'm going to loosely follow that I found online. So let's see. This part is, yeah, this part is trees and mountain. So we're just gonna scrub this back and forth, left and right, creating some shapes. Grab some more. Just going to come down a ways here. All right. And then we transition right about there. Let's give that a little wipe and wash. Wipe off that fan brush. It has a little brown. You don't have to wash it real good, but we want to go into a little bit of Prussian blue, I believe, here. A little Prussian blue, maybe a touch of the midnight black. Just gonna darken this, dull this Prussian blue down. And I think right in here, we're gonna get a little darker. This is gonna be kind of in the shade. This side's a little darker. All right. I'm going to try to make this top edge up here pretty defined. So we want a nice top edge, you know, a nice clean line. Fan brush isn't the greatest thing for that. You could get your liner brush out if you wanted, because the fan brush tends to give you a little things going on at the very top, but we're going to make it work. Okay. And just going to scrub this back and forth. It gets lighter as we go down. Grab some titanium white. We're going to scrub that in. Grab some more titanium white. I'm starting at the bottom. I want the top of this mountain to be a dark blue, and it's going to fade down into a little bit lighter blue. So I'm starting down here with this titanium white and working my way up. And just back and forth. And then we step back. Okay, we're going to wash that fan brush. We might grab the palette knife now. Figuring this out as we go. I want to put some little bit of highlight on this mountain area over here where we put the brown. So I'm thinking we're going to grab our palette knife and maybe come into, let's see, maybe a little yellow ochre. and a little bit of titanium white. I'm just gonna pull that out and bring it over here. Just leave it kind of marbled so you can still see the white and the yellow ochre in there. Just like that. And we're gonna get a little tiny roll on the end of our palette knife. We're gonna come up here and we're just gonna hit a couple of these. We touch and we just lightly pull. A little more. Grab a little more. And we're not going to put highlights over this whole thing. Some of this left-hand side is going to be trees. So we're just putting some highlights on here and there. Every now and then we're going to go grab some straight titanium white and just lightly touch. Give us a different, change up the color, give us some highlights. So we got several colors going. Maybe a little more titanium white. And through here, there's something a little brighter. Maybe every now and then, grabbing the dark sienna, straight dark sienna. And maybe there's a little shadow area in here. Darker shadow area. Okay, back to our marbled. I'm just going back and forth. A little bit of that marbled color, a little bit of titanium white. Every now and then we'll throw in some dark. You just kind of play around with it and see what you like. But I'm just putting the palette knife, and I'm not real good with the palette knife, as you can, I don't know if you can tell. You're probably going, oh, that's good. Not really. But thank you. I'm not as good as Bob Ross used to be, and there's a lot of people besides, a lot of painters besides Bob that were very good at palette knife. One of these paintings we'll probably use just a palette knife on the whole thing. That ought to be fun. I like using the liner brush, but I need to start using this more every now and then. I like getting out the palette knife. I'm not going to learn unless I use it, right? So I'm just hitting it here and there. Like I said, over here on this left side, there's probably going to be some trees going on. But we're just going to add a little of that. Now I'm going to come back into the titanium white, just get a little titanium white. Same thing, just touch here and there. Oh, got a little. You get too much, just reach up there and kind of scrape it off a little bit. If you don't think it's too much, leave it alone. Grab a little of the dark. Mix in some dark here and there. All right, I think that's gonna be all right. Not too bad. How's that look? Okay. Maybe. Hi, Gomer. You gonna come in here and lay with Daddy? All right. One of my puppies. Okay. Just a little highlight here on this edge. maybe where the sun, I'm thinking the sun's coming through here and that. So let's wipe off our palette knife. Set that down. Got into my mountain right here. I want to keep this kind of dark. Might be doing the same thing. You know what? Let's grab the palette knife again. Wipe off your palette knife. Get the browns off there. We're going to come into a little bit of titanium white, a little bit of phthalo blue. Let's just mix up a little of a shadow color. And we're going to leave that a little marbled. That right there, phthalo blue and titanium white. I'm going to grab some of that. I just want to put in, let's see, a couple. We want this to stay dark. This might even be too light. I think I want to stay away from that top. Okay. Some of this is going to be covered up over here, so I don't have to worry too much about this side over here. Just going to touch. Let's see. On a couple spots. Don't really like that, so I'm going to scrape some of that off. Just rework it a little bit. And I lost some of the dark at the top of this, so you grab that Prussian blue black mix that we had. Just gonna kind of come back up here and outline that dark again. Okay. Wash that off. Dry off that brush. Blend that. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. I'm liking it. I think I'm liking this. Okay, grab our palette knife again, maybe one or two. Just hit a couple spots here. And take that down there. Now, let's see if I can do this again without. All right. You know, just got to keep standing back and see what you like. Okay. All right. And here I'm kind of scrubbing that in. Scrubbing this in. Maybe something really bright right on this edge. Let's see what happens if I do this. Well, it changes it. I don't know if it's better. Add a little more blue back into that. Yeah. Again, the only person you have to please on your painting is you. It's your painting, you decide. I'm showing you some of the techniques to do this. Okay, I think we're gonna leave that alone for right now. Let's wipe off that palette knife. Okay, before we get too far ahead on where we're at up here, I think we're gonna put some water. The original photo doesn't have water in it. I like water. I don't know about you guys, but I like water. Let's put some water in this. And if we're gonna have water down here, I'm guessing these colors at the sky are gonna be down in some of it's gonna be in the water. So let's go back to our, what did we use for the sky? That was phthalo blue. Let's come down here and add phthalo blue. And I'm scrubbing it in. Scrubbing it in. And we're just doing a rough estimate of how much sky, how much is in the water reflecting down here. This is going to be our reflection of the sky down in the water. I think it looks pretty already. I don't know about you guys, but I'm liking the colors. What did we do over here? Oh, don't want that blue. I think this is my clean brush. Clean 1-inch brush. We put some yellow, I think it was Indian yellow and a little bit of white. So let's grab a little white, touch Indian yellow. Indian yellow is pretty strong. And yeah, I think we came across like this. Just gonna blend that all the way across. Let's see. A little more Indian yellow right in here. A little more right in here. I'm just blending that. With a clean, dry fan brush, we're going to come up into some titanium white. And I think we're going to give the indication of some of these clouds here in the water too. So we'll just put the reflections of the clouds. And we came across into the blue like this. And then it went down kind of there. You know, it's a rough estimate. Does not have to be exact. Don't beat yourself up if you're like, well, that cloud looks different than what I've got in the water. Don't worry about it. Not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. We're just going to add some clouds into our water. They don't have to be exact. Now, if you get lucky and they do turn out exact, you can pat yourself on the back, and or if you're just not lucky but that talented, then you can do that. But I'm not worried as far as my clouds go. If it looks something like it, that's good. Okay, should be enough here. Well, maybe we can use the fan brush. We're just gonna just lightly blend. I know we usually use the 2-inch brush for this. Just gonna lightly blend. Okay. Stand back. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. Let's move on. Dry that off. Let's see, what brush do I want? I know we're gonna start tackling this horizon line, or the water line, not the horizon line, but water line. All right, with our small flat brush, I think we're just gonna do our water line here, our dividing line. And I'm gonna start over here and come across. Fairly straight. I'm using dark sienna. Just using straight dark sienna. Just trying to get an idea of where we're dividing this. Maybe a little higher than that. With this same brush, and we're in the dark sienna, let's add some foliage in here. I'm gonna add some background stuff. Just tapping shapes back here. Not a whole lot of detail. Maybe. Add a few shapes to indicate distant bushes or trees, and then I kind of go back and forth so it gives him something to stand on. There's a little bit of shadow underneath. We're going to go back and lighten up some of this too. It's not sticking as well. Okay. Every now and then we can grab some midnight black with that brown. And come over here. Just add in some shapes. Again, I'm using this little flat brush. We can switch to a liner brush, and I probably am going to do that here. We get some different kinds of shapes there. And just to show you the difference of what we can do with the liner brush, and I'll probably go into a little paint thinner here and grab a little of that brown, a little midnight black. Just mix up a little black and brown. Dark sienna, midnight black, with a little bit of paint thinner. And we can throw some distant trees back here too. Put some shapes in, and squiggle a little bit of ground. Some of this is going to get covered up with other trees here in the front. And as the color starts, now it's mixing with this blue, the brown and that black. So the brown on the black is getting lighter and lighter and lighter because it's starting to mix with the blue. Let that happen. What you get are even more distant looking trees that it looks like they're even farther back. The farther back something is from you, the less detail, the blur. Next time you go outside, look as far off in the distance as you can. Things, besides getting smaller in that, they start losing detail. Things start looking bluer, also the farther away they get. And sometimes trees don't look like trees way off in the distance. They look like shapes. You may know that's a tree back there, but they just kind of look like shapes. You're just giving the indication of some distance, some depth. That's all we're doing, is putting a little distance and depth here in the front, putting some shapes in, switching back and forth between the brown, a little bit of black. Maybe way back here, there's something way back there. Every now and then, grab some of this mountain mix that we used up here, the lighter stuff with the titanium white and the yellow ochre. Maybe there's just a ray of sunshine comes right. And grab a little more white into that mix. Maybe there's something that comes right through this canyon back here between the two mountains. It's a little bit lighter. A little bit lighter. Okay. Every now and then we see it poking through the trees. Add some. Okay, back into a little dark. Let's darken this side of this bush tree clump that's going on here. And that's in front. What we just did, we put a highlight behind that little clump of trees. I hope that's showing up. I'll try to zoom in. Still working on my second camera. Try to get that figured out here soon. I'm gonna go back to the flat brush. What do you guys think? I think the colors are turning out really good. I think there's gonna be a light area right near the water. And let's see, that's going to be yellow ochre, and titanium white. And I might put it on with the palette knife, might be a little easier. Okay, we're going to go back to the palette knife, get some titanium white, bring it over. It had a little bit of blue in it, that's okay. A little marbled. We'll see if this is light enough. But I want to add in a light area here on the shoreline. Adding in a little Indian yellow. Sorry, I stood back out of frame. I was standing back looking while I was mixing. But let's see. Let's see what this looks like. I'm just touching and kind of pulling. Just adding some color. Just a little bit of highlight. Our liner brush. Let's go into this dark that we mixed up, the dark sienna and midnight black. Grab a little more black. A little bit of paint thinner. Let's darken in the shoreline right here. Just going to add a little bit of dark underneath this light that we just put on. Grab a little more black, a little brown. It kind of defines it with the dark. Dark against light, light against dark. And then we can come back with a little bit of brown and that black and a little white in there. Just changing up the colors of the brown. So we've got 3 or 4 different colors. And maybe even take this light color and move it around a little bit. Move it around on this shoreline. Okay. Apologize if I'm stepping in front. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. Probably wouldn't be this light over the entire thing, so what we can come through and do is add a little darker brown here and there. Just here and there. Maybe even a tree or two. Let's go into the dark. Make a mark, bring our trunk down, and then zigzag back and forth and touch. Grab some more. Okay, a tree right there. Put the indication of a trunk right here. This one's a little closer. bigger. Let's bring the mountain reflection down into our water before we get too far. Maybe add a couple of bushes here by the shore. Oh, let me grab my let's grab a fan brush and go into this dark sienna. I'm just going to put the indication, maybe a little paint thinner than that. A few little things here and there by the shore. And same dirty fan brush. Let's come into some Prussian blue. And we are going to put this mountain in. We're just going to draw it in. Roughly the shape. Roughly the shape. And then we'll fill it in. Reflections are usually dark. We're going to make this dark. Fairly dark. And just add in color, Prussian blue. A little bit of paint thinner. And okay. Roughly where the, where the highlights are. Just put a little bit of highlight. Just grabbing some titanium white. A little bit of that phthalo blue. A little bit of paint thinner here. I'm going to thin this out. Okay. Just adding in a little color for the highlights of the mountain up here, down below. Just give that a quick wipe. Let's go into some brown. And a little bit of midnight black, darker brown. Pretty dark. We're going to come up here. And down. Okay, paint thinner. Just spread this out. Careful how much paint thinner you use. I got quite a bit on here, but I'm working it in really fast, so it's not going to be, don't want it dripping. Okay, roughly, that's what our mountain reflection looks like. Maybe a little bit of white in here and there. A little bit of tan, a little bit of Indian yellow. Just adding in a little bit. Okay, does not have to be exact. We're just adding in some color. Okay, we're going to grab a dry 2-inch brush. Make sure it's dry. Very lightly, pull straight down. Turn it over, or dry it off. We're heading into the blue. Pull straight down. All the way across. Now we flip it over to the dry side, very lightly, straight across. Just a whisper. Little lighter here at the top. Not going to get it exact. I'm just adding in a little highlight. Okay. Go back to our 2-inch brush. Very lightly. Pull down. And then straight across. Let's grab our palette knife and let's dip into a little liquid white. Let's come up here. A little bit of titanium white. It's got a little blue in it, but we're just going to scratch in a waterline. Rub it. Waterline in across here. A little bit out into our lake. A couple more things to do and we're about done. I think we're going to grab our 1-inch brush, go into our dark sienna. Come up here to this tree over here. Just adding in some leaves, indication of some leaves. Let's dip into a little, not even washing it, but I'm going to go into a little bit of the liquid white and tap into this Indian yellow. This Indian yellow mix here. Maybe a little more Indian yellow. Liquid white, Indian yellow. And we're just going to touch. And then leave some dark and touch. All right. Oh, we've got a little tree over there. Something about the shore needs a little more to it. All right, I'm gonna change things up here. Change my mind. Now I put the water line on there, but I'm gonna go grab a little midnight black. A little bit of dark sienna, but more midnight black. I think I'm gonna add, I might have to scrape off some paint. Let's see here. Run it across, scrape it off, wipe it off. All right, darken up this shoreline, make it look like there's a little more land up here. Bring it over here a little more. It comes around. Yeah, I'm already liking it better. I don't want to kill all my light area that I put on here on the shoreline, but I just want a little something. Kind of separates this a little more. All right. Yeah, it's mixing with some of the other colors, and we're getting some cool stuff that's happening. Bring this down. Maybe the shoreline curves around over here. Come in here with a little water line. Try to make these lines straight if you can, horizontal, same way the water is laying. I'm just using some of this lighter white and yellow mix for the water line, but you can use straight white or a different color if you want. There we've got a little water line. Comes over here, maybe. And then we can take a little more liquid white on our 1-inch brush, come back into this Indian yellow. We'll just stay in the yellows, the tans and the yellows. Tap that in there. And we'll come and just put some little bushes here next to the shore. Well, something going on there. Back here. Oh, let's grab our fan brush. Let's come into midnight black, Prussian blue. I'm going to mix it on the brush. Just a little bit of black, a little bit of blue. I think we're going to have a big tree right here. Get some more color. A little Prussian blue, midnight black. And it just goes off the canvas right here. Big old tree. Right up in our face here. Okay. And let's grab our liner brush, dip into a little paint thinner. Same color. One more paint thinner. Blue and black. Black and blue. Okay. And let's say branch that comes out here like this. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger, a little stouter, so it shows up. Yeah. Got a little knot down there. Okay. Go back into our color. That one goes off that way. Maybe this one forks off like this. That one like that. And a little one right there. All right. Maybe. Yeah, I'm seeing this tree's a little bigger than what we're seeing. I think it's looks more like this. Okay, a little more paint thinner. Back into our color. It just goes right off the canvas. Okay. And now it goes up like that. Just looking, make sure he's thick enough where he needs to be. There we go. All right. What do you think? I think we've about got a finished painting. A little different. I like it. I like the colors. I like the two different colors of the mountain. Yeah, I think it turned out good. I'm going to stay in this dark color. Grab my other liner brush and come in a little paint thinner. Come into that dark color. We're going to sign this. I'm going to sign this one. There we go. Set down my palette. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, sticking with me, and hopefully you followed along or you enjoyed this episode. I think it turned out pretty good, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.